Why are you playing that? My name is Gary Internet and I think this game is terrible. You are having bad wrong fun.
I will give you a brief recap because I've been journaling this one. Sir Corim awoke beside the bonfire. His only memories were his name, his quest to restore the first flame, and his final memory of a vast, terrifying roar behind him. As he sat in contemplation, he became aware of something shuffling towards him through the trees. Two hollows lurched out of the darkness, almost reaching him before he could react. So they kind of got the jump on him and were able to shuffle a bit closer, although they are quite slow. He leapt to meet them, drawing his sword and hacking down the first one with a single strike. The foul thing crumbled to dust as the second hollow lashed out and scraped its claws across Corim's armour. The knight hacked at the wretched creature, striking it to the ground, only to see it rise to its feet again and mindlessly lash its claws at him. He batted away its attacks with his shield and brought down a devastating blow to the creature's head with his longsword, cracking its skull in half. This time the creature slowly slumped to the ground and stayed there. Sir Corim didn't take his eyes off it until it had crumbled to dust. Sir Corim thought carefully about what to do next. He didn't relish the idea of meeting more hollows, but they at least indicated some kind of activity in the direction they had come from. Deciding that this was all he had to go on, Sir Corim headed in the direction the foul creatures had come from, and eventually the forest path became a more substantial road with some kind of settlement in the distance. Not far along the road, the knight saw an undertaker with a cart laden with coffins at the side of the road. Sir Corim hailed the man and found the wheel had come off his cart. The knight offered to help, but despite his strength it took Corim longer than he had hoped to fix the cart. As soon as the wheel was mended, the undertaker tapped Corim on the shoulder and pointed towards the settlement where a skeletal warrior was heading along the road. In the dim light, the warrior had got the jump on Sir Corim and the undertaker, and the knight brought his shield to deflect the skeleton's scimitar. Sir Corim, after trading a few blows with the skeletal soldier, managed to get the upper hand and smash the creature into a pile of bones. The undertaker thanked Sir Corim profusely and gave him a book bound in ancient leather. As the undertaker prepared to carry on his journey towards the settlement, Sir Corim looked through the book and found it to be a diary of someone who had gone to the settlement to try to bring hope and help. Realising that there may be some people trying to bring hope in such a dark place, the knight decided to accompany the grateful undertaker on his journey to hopefully meet other survivors who might be able to help discover more about his quest to restore the first flame. As the undertaker's cart drew closer to the settlement, Sir Corim asked him what an undertaker was doing in a world cursed with undeath. The undertaker replied, "In a world without death, why does a knight still kill? We are the remembrances of our living selves, and we continue to do what we used to, although now we don't always know why. We do what we used to do because to stop and try to look for meaning would be a path to insanity." Now, if we look at this section in the rulebook about the undead settlement, I've been working my way up the monster chart here. I started fighting some hollows. I fought a skeleton. I've been keeping the numbers low because I'm just sort of finding my way, really. We've got Corvians, we've got more hollows, we've got more skeletons, a bone wheel skeleton, wretches, giants, hollows, and the giant entry there. So those are the sort of monsters I'm going to be playing with. We've got some NPCs over here, Yoel of Londor, Holy Knight Hodrick, and the boss is the Curse-Rotted Greatwood. Gives us a nice description here of the undead settlement and some things we can find, and Sir Corim has already found the book, and there's all these other things we could find. But yes, I found the Undertaker was a little standee in Folklore the Affliction, so I thought, yes, I'll grab a Undertaker as an NPC. So this is Sir Corim. He is a knight. His origin is brute, which is what gives him his stats here. And we have a good old longsword and some knight armour and a knight shield. And we have second wind and the withdrawal fighting style. I got this from the Steamforged website of pre-generated characters that they have on there. And yeah, he's got some good armour. He's pretty decent. Now the next monster on the random encounter table, which I'm sort of working upwards, is a Corvian. So they are bedraggled crow creatures. Corvians are perpetual nomads. Their homeland was destroyed by the ever-growing abyss, and in its wreckage many were driven to madness or savagery. While some retain their wisdom, knowledge and wit, many are reduced to fragments of the creatures they once were, attacking any who draw near, irrespective of their intentions, as those seeking to avenge themselves on the abyss which took so much from them. Now they have 26 position, which is this game's version of hit points, which the player characters can actually spend to improve their dice rolls and trigger abilities, and bosses can spend it as well, but not a beast like a Corvian. So it's tough compared to the skeleton and hollows I fought already. So I'm going to have a think about whether to try and sneak around it or attack it. And as it's going to be a big fight, I'm going to put a little item behind there for me to find if I defeat this creature. Yeah, I'm not confident. I shall tell the Undertaker, go and take cover. This could get messy. Run if I fail. So we draw our longsword and prepare to approach this creature, which is sort of milling around, searching among the gravestones and kind of guarding the entrance to the settlement, but yeah, he's more sort of a random obstacle for us that we have to get through. So I'm going to try and sneak upon him before we get into the fight itself. And his passive perception is 10. My stealth is 0, but I get a -1, so we'll see what we do. Oh, that sucks. Okay. Yeah, as we make our first step towards him, our armour clanks so much that it sort of wheels round and spots us. So we're going to have to roll initiative. We get a -1 on our initiative. His initiative difficulty class is 15. And we just make it, so we do actually go first. Position die is a d10. So at the start of a fight, we roll this and add it to our base position. And that is a 5, so we have 18 to play with. So that might help out a bit. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Yes, we can run in and hack at him with our longsword. So I think that's what we're going to try and do. We're going to try and use position carefully to fight against his 26 position compared to our 18. So we will swing our longsword with +4. His armour class is, I think it was 12 or something. Yeah, he has natural armour of 12. 18 plus plenty. So we have D8 plus 2 for our slashing damage with our longsword as we swing for him. 3, 4, 5. I'm going to spend 5 position and increase that to 10. Because when you use position to increase damage, it has to be a minimum of 5. Okay, and now I'm pretty pleased with hacking him for that much damage. He will now retaliate with his +5 knife. Now with this knife he gets a bonus attack as well. So he slashes at us with +5. Oh my goodness, that is just disastrous. He rolls his normal damage of d6 +3, but then doubles it. 8 damage. Okay, that leaves us with 5 position. Oh gosh, that's awful. We were doing quite well, and then we are now bloodied though, so we add +3 to our constitution, and our armour class, and we gain advantage on all strength related checks and saving throws, and I reduce the damage done to me by 2. So that's one good thing at being so badly injured. So you become bloodied when your starting position pool, so not just your base position but your actual starting position. So when we went down to 9 or below, we become bloodied and we get these extra bonuses. Those conditions are specific to the brute origin. So wow, what on earth are we going to do to him now? Because he gets his bonus attack with his knife as well. So 19. That's another hit, even though we have increased armour class now. We're going to die, aren't we? That's 6. So our position, no, it's 4 because the damage done to us is reduced by 2. So we're down to 1 position. As a bonus action, we're going to use our second wind ability. So we get D10 plus 1, position back. Oh, that sucks. You know how the dice always hate me. So we're back up to 3 position. Wow. Ooh, we're in trouble now. Okay. We are not going to knock him down from 16 position to 0 before our 3 position is completely gone. Yeah, we're in trouble. We're going to need to use our Estus flask. We have the ability to withdraw from a fight without suffering an attack of opportunity. If there are 2 enemies fighting us, we could withdraw and not get attacked by one of them, but we would get attacked by the second one. But 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. We're legging it, and we're taking a draft from our Estus flask, which is D10, position 10. That's more like it. We are back up to 13 position. I feel a lot better about my life now. He moves 5, 10, 15, 20, but presumably he will sprout his wings, which will increase his movement to 30 from now on. So we sort of looked out with that one. As we're back up to 13 position, we are above the half of our starting pool, which would be 9. So we no longer get those bonuses, and we're just going to launch into him again with an attack with our longsword. +4. Oh, that absolutely sucks. So we're looking for 12, wasn't it? It's not worth spending all that position, I don't think. I made a mistake with the Estus flask. You actually get half your base position back, so that would be 6 for us. That's rounded down. So we got to 9. And we've got 2 drafts remaining of that. It's going to swing for us. We are back to armor class 18. With his +5, that's a 7, and his bonus attack 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Excellent. He just slashes wildly with his dagger at us. We will swing for him again and hope for the best. 14, that's enough to hit him. And we roll our d8 and add 2. Oops. 5. We're going to spend 5 position to increase the damage to 10. And then we're going to use a bonus action to use our Estus flask again to take our position down to 4, then back up to 10. And we've got 1 draft in the Estus flask left, which will increase as we increase in level. Okay, now the beastie will retaliate. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That is not enough. And he swings it with his bonus attack, with his knife. 10, 15. Again, that's not enough. I'm feeling a bit more confident right now. And we finish him off. So, oops. Let's have a look. Oh, 9 plus 4. That is enough. 13. His armor class is 12. Let's see if we can... 4, 5, 6, 6. That is enough. That reduces him to 0 position. The Corvian is defeated. So for the defeating the Corvian, we get 200 souls to add to our 75 we got from the skeleton and the 2 hollows. And our position either goes back to our base position, or if it's lower, it stays at the lower score. So we are still at 10 position. But now we can investigate what this is, as our Undertaker friend makes his way out of the shadows. We found the book earlier in this part of the adventure, and we've got 2 large soul of a deserted corpse, 1 soul of an unknown traveller, or 6 firebombs. So, I don't know, 7, 8, 9. If I roll a d10, 1, 2, 3, and the rest is a firebomb. So let's go with that. That is a 7. That's going to be a firebomb. So as an action, you can throw this flask up to 20 feet, shattering it on impact. Make a ranged attack against a creature or object, treating the firebomb as an improvised weapon. On a hit, the target takes d4 fire damage at the start of each of its turns. A creature can end this damage by using its action to make a DC 10 dexterity check to extinguish the flame. So we've got a little bit of ranged attack to work with, even though it's only 20 feet. So we will now approach the door and enter the undead settlement proper. So obviously this story is going to deviate from the actual Dark Souls, because otherwise I've seen a few playthroughs and I would have no surprises. So I'm going to have a go with my D&D cards here and see if I can find out what the deal is with this undead settlement. I'm going to stay roughly to Dark Souls sort of themes, but I want some difference, otherwise there'll be no surprises. So for the Emperor, we've got finding the source of your inner authority, or you encounter a king of a far-off land who seeks your aid. So perhaps our knight, Sir Corim, needs to find these sort of survivors in this undead settlement and sort of rally them to continue their work and fight back against the hopelessness that surrounds them. So the next is the Ace of Intelligence. Finding your inner wizard and using your genius to discover new ideas and have breakthroughs. So perhaps we need to use our intelligence, which unfortunately is our dump stat. Never mind. Or the party meets a powerful wizard whom they may ask one question and get a truthful answer from. So perhaps we might meet a sorcerer among these survivors. But our final card is the Page of Wisdom. So where does he hang out in this book? Embarking on a new path, sparked by your curiosity and creativity. A man staggers towards you and hands you a silver key. He gasps, "Find the fish." Before falling over dead, he smells of brine. So I like the idea that basically we need to use our authority and give encouragement and guidance to these people as a knight, and we may come across a wizard or sorcerer, whatever, who can help us in some way, but ultimately we are looking to find a new path. So when we move on from this place, we will need a new path to go to a new location, to continue our quest to discover what restoring the first flame means to us, because although we remember that was what our quest was, we don't really remember we don't have any understanding around that. We just remember that was our quest. We don't know how we're going to do it. We don't have a great grasp on what the first flame is, due to our current state of being not quite alive. So that is what we're going to do, and I'm sure the Undertaker will hopefully be able to lead us to these people, who we can encourage. Now, with his talk of being mere remembrances of our former selves, I think it could go either way. He could be trapped in this continually doing what he used to do when he used to be alive, or he could have a contact with these survivors, because we only find out about them from the book he gave us. So he knows about them, but he might not particularly have a great deal to do with them. So does he know these survivors? Can he lead us to them? Yes, he can. Excellent. So the Undertaker is able to lead us into the old guardhouse where the survivors are holed up against the hordes of the undead outside. And looking at the undead settlement entry, among the NPCs is indeed a wizard or sorcerer, Yol of Londor, one of the enigmatic pilgrims who crossed the land of Lothric, bearing some mission within their breasts. Yol of Londor is a former sorcerer. What befell him in the undead settlement is uncertain, but he can be encountered firmly shackled and left to rot. He is enormously grateful to any who are prepared to aid him, swearing fealty and guaranteeing his faithful companionship whenever and wherever his rescuer might require it. So, these people can tell us that yes, indeed, there is somebody who can give us some information about the first flame. Not a great deal, according to that entry. He's not hugely knowledgeable about the world of Lothric, but he'll be able to give us more information than these fine folks. But they tell us that he is indeed shackled out in the undead settlement somewhere, and we need to go and rescue him. And if we do, he will be very grateful and give us lots of helpful information, and maybe even weave some helpful magic for us.